Hey guys, welcome to this week's First Look. I'm your Uncle Wes. We're sitting in the driveway. This is the Driveway Liberty Podcast. And got my buddies here with me. Over to my left, we got Mr. Dan Matachero.
Go Dolphins. Won again today.
That's
Another
amazing.
good Sunday.
Absolutely
Got a big
amazing.
lead, then rested everybody.
Across the table, we got Mr. Travis Horn, who's kind of extra happy today, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all kind of dragging ass today because we
Dude.
kind of during a week of hitting it hard the whole week, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I had relatives in town, and we were talking last night about how much bourbon I've been drinking with my in-laws,
Right?
and then so we sit down and watch some college football last night after Wes and I drank all the beers at Applebee's.
Oh, the beers.
You had that look on your face that I had after about 4 days of our 5-day cruise with a drink package and literally maxing it out plus stealing the few extras here and there. Just that, like, I just, like, it was that blank face of just like.
And then you had the we were watching the Hurricanes debacle last night, and Travis had the idea is every time Miami screwed up, we had to take a drink, which we drank a half a bottle of bourbon just from that.
Yes, we did.
Oh, bad.
Dude, we got Applebee's yesterday, and I was drinking. You know, used to the Brutus was the biggest one. It's like a 22-ounce Pilsner glass or something like that. But now they got a bigger kind of big mug, man. The chick says it was only like 26 ounces, but man,
That ain't right.
that ain't right. It's like 32
It looked
at
like
least.
a quart.
Yeah.
Looked like
Yeah.
a quart to me.
So I had probably 4 of those, and then I had 2 Pilsners. Did I have a little one too?
No, you didn't have a
I don't know, man, but I was
We
sucking them
ended
down.
on Pilsners. I was drinking Pilsners though.
Yeah,
actually
I did have 2 of the Pilsner glass, 1 or 2 of the Pilsner glasses.
I actually didn't drink that much this week. Let's
Until
see.
last night.
Monday we did the podcast.
Man,
Yeah.
I have got to stop drinking so much.
Yeah,
I've got to
and
slow
Tuesday I didn't drink because we had beach volleyball. Wednesday I was just trying to get ready to go out of town. Thursday, I mean I had a few beers throughout the day, but nothing. Then Friday I don't think I drank at all, and then Saturday I had a few beers on the beach for beach volleyball. But
Well, don't get me wrong. I didn't get just hammered every night this week. I mean, I had 3 or 4 bourbons every night this week.
Right?
And then actually Saturday night with watching the Hurricanes, I gave up.
yeah,
I drank a little bit.
well I was
last
at my
night.
dad's watching the Alabama Auburn game, or I guess the last 3 quarters he didn't even have any beer.
Oh,
I'm like,
Your
how you
dad?
gonna- yeah, I'm like, how you gonna invite me over
Right?
to watch the Alabama Auburn game and there ain't a single beer in this house?
oh.
Yeah, you can't have that, man. You got to have some
I had
beer.
some beers out in the cooler of the truck left over from the beach, but
Well,
I
you,
didn't feel like walking.
you know, that's kind of that Boy Scout mentality. You got to be prepared just in case. Always have some emergency beers on hand.
That's right.
Definitely. So, hey guys, I mean, we are still, I mean, obviously exhausted from our activities from Thanksgiving. We hope you've had a great Thanksgiving, by the way, and got to spend time with your friends and family, and some of you probably realize why you don't want to be close to those friends and family. So, yeah, but you know, it is what it is. It's always good to see them for a minute. But you know, we still have some political stuff going on.
Yeah, it's kind of a quiet holiday week, but
Well, we're kind of in lame duck Congress right now, so to speak.
Yep.
So they're just kind of sitting around and stirring shit while we're waiting for the next Congress to come in.
yeah, but the GOP is trying to figure out their leadership now that they've taken the House coming up in January, and you know, Rhino McCarthy is in line, I guess, but he doesn't seem to be able to get enough votes. You need 218 votes, and they did a vote earlier in the week, and he got 188 votes.
Right.
I guess Andy Biggs from Arizona ran against him and got 31 votes. So it's kind of up in the air. which I have no problem with somebody else other than McCarthy being Speaker of the House. Matter of fact, I'm vehemently cheering for someone other than McCarthy
Yes.
to be a Speaker of the House. Because it's, with them, you know, when you have Cocaine Mitch in the Senate and you got McCarthy in the House, it's business as usual. It's basically a one-party system.
Yeah.
They just want...
Oh, what was it I heard on a podcast the other day? Somebody's like, we should start a third party. And they said, how about we just have a second party?
That's right.
How about we have a
Fix the
second
GOP,
party, see how that goes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's
It's all
figure
gimmick
that
show.
out. You know, I mean, although I never registered as a libertarian, I joined the Libertarian Party. I've gave them some money, and matter of fact, I still have the card right here. And, you know, Tho Bishop said something to me that made sense actually on the podcast. He's like, this was a couple of years ago, I guess, a year and a half, 2 years ago. And he says, you know, man, you could sit over there and try to get that party going and do everything you can, but you've got a viable second party here that just really needs some direction. And, you know, it takes a lot to alter my course on things, and that's why I've joined just about every Republican organization locally over the last year, and why I'm trying to get out there and make a difference and impact change in a positive way.
Yeah, well, the issue, you know, nationally is the Republican Party, the rhinos have a stronghold on it. So they control all the money. They got enough numbers in Congress to keep their leadership positions intact.
Yeah.
So it's until we somehow figure out a way to change that. I mean, every year we get through or not every year, but every election we get, you know, a few more liberty-minded Republicans elected, but it's a slow go.
It is a slow go, and it's, you know, even some of the liberty-minded Republicans that are running that were great candidates, they can kind of get sidetracked a little bit on some things, on their message, and they pick the wrong battles to fight. That was one of the things. I know we badmouth Hannity all the time, but back in the day when I actually listened to him, that made me stop listening to him is when he debated somebody on his show right after the Ninja Turtle looking guy left him. Yeah, Combs.
I actually liked Hannity and Combs.
Yeah, I mean, you had a
good.
point counterpoint thing going there, but you know, Hannity's issue is he get hung up on this one thing, and he's not debating in the conversation. He's not part of the conversation, and he kept bringing that conversation back to one thing that he thought was an important argument, which really, now you made your point, let's move on to something else, man.
Yeah, I remember during the whole Trump-Russia thing on Hannity, it was literally the same show every night.
Oh, yeah.
With the same guests making the same argument, whether it was Hillary's emails or, you know, the
Getting to the bottom of it.
special counsel Robert Mueller, or whatever the hell you say his name
Yeah,
is.
it's
Rhino Mueller.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing that's happening is during when they passed the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, that was the COVID relief bill of Biden's.
Yeah.
When they added all those IRS agents was a part of it.
Sure.
But also in there was the IRS is now going to be, they lowered the reporting threshold for third-party networks that process payments for those doing business. So you're talking about the Venmos, the PayPals,
Right.
Those kind of things, where now they lowered the threshold to $600.
Well, hasn't it always been $600? I know
No.
I always had to send a 1099 to anybody that I paid
Yeah, but
$600 to.
this is
Yeah, but I think they're tracking the transactions now.
yeah. So
PayPal has to
the
report those
PayPal
transactions.
before you had to do it on your own, or an employer
Right.
had to give you that information. Now these transaction processes, they're requiring them to report.
So they can
So-
take theirs
And
match
match
against
to give
yours.
your, yeah.
Be sure you're,
So I guess you're going to see forms coming from just as if no different than your gig job. Like when I officiate, I get a 1099 at the end of the year from the officials association.
Well, see, that's going to be screwed up. I do a lot of my billing through PayPal and Stripe, and if I'm going to get a 1099 from them, and I also get 1099s from certain clients. Some clients, CPAs make them send me a 1099. Others, I'm a vendor, so they don't 1099 me. They're paying for a service, and they have receipts for that. So that means I'm going to have to pay double income tax because there's no way to differentiate that income through PayPal and say, this is the same thing that this caterer is paying me to do their web work or whatever.
Yeah, and for my grill business, I've got a couple people that pay me through Venmo or PayPal, and all that is a transaction that goes into my bank account. My bank account gets when I do the QuickBooks thing, all that stuff's factored in as income. I don't know. My accountant better figure out how to not pay income tax from these 1099s after they're already included in my income.
Right.
I think they're just doing this to kind of flush out anybody who's doing business through that.
Well, but if you sell a piece of furniture or something like that, and it's $700. That's a used good. That's not normally taxable income.
Yeah,
you're selling something you already paid tax on, or that you purchased for your house or whatever. It's complete and utter BS, man.
Well, I mean, my boat, and people were firm, like, no, you show up with cash.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll show up with cash. However, we're going to write the bill of sale how I want it written.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Right.
So.
Well, they're doing this, and they're doing things like this, and then they're trying to phase cash out.
Right.
So literally, the government
can watch every single penny that you spend.
Yep,
man. It's
every penny, and they're already testing the digital dollar. In a number of banks are doing trial runs with it.
Yeah,
which
in
I
New
mean,
York.
I know that that's a terrible thing to go to completely, but I mean, a lot of people are on that. I mean, how much cash you got in your pocket, Wes?
Maybe $60. I used to carry.
I don't have a penny on me.
A fat gangster roll back
Right.
in the day. I used to always have a big old fat wad of cash in my pocket, and you get pulled over and they start questioning, why do you have $700 in your pocket? I mean, that's how I do majority of my transactions.
Because I fucking feel like it. That's why.
Because it's my fucking money. That's why. Shove it up my ass if I feel like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is another example of where we as a society, our comfort and our convenience has allowed these type of things to progress to where now it's not a scary thing that the government now can see every single transaction you have because you haven't been using cash for years.
Right.
So it's
well, our entire financial system. I mean, banks are loaning money. They don't have that money on hand.
No.
I mean, it's just
they borrow amongst each other off hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ones and zeros being traded.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
But so I have changed my mind on something.
Okay. What you got?
Need to tell you guys about. I was at Walmart today,
mm-hmm.
and I think I am in big favor of people wearing masks optionally.
Okay.
Because that lets me know exactly who I should never spend 1 second of time with, and probably avoid like the plague. So it's pretty nice. I mean, it's almost like just wearing a "Hey, I'm a dumbass" hat.
Yeah.
I still see people.
I saw 5 or 6 a day at Walmart.
I mean, now that we have these snowbirds in town, you see them all over the place.
Yeah.
So.
They've talk about getting. I hate to use the word groom in this context, but that's exactly what's happened. They have been groomed to wear these masks, and they have been forced to wear them for so long. Now it's a comfort feature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like Linus's blanket from the Peanuts. You know, they just
Well, they scared them into it.
yeah,
It's bullshit. And you can't convince them that they don't work.
sure,
They've been.
Well, I think it's just it's the placebo effect. They think it works, so it makes them feel better.
yeah,
And which is, again, if we're in almost 2023 and you're still wearing a mask optionally to go to Walmart, like you're
living under a rock.
You're not worthy of my time.
no,
At all, and I'm going to avoid you as much as humanly possible.
it's ridiculous.
So our show is very pro and strong on Second Amendment. We've made that clear to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, we are.
And the left has had a hard time attacking that directly and taking those rights away.
Mm-hmm.
So what they've been doing is they do little things. They pass magazine capacity laws and those kind of things that happen. There's another thing they're doing that doesn't directly affect us, or if it affects us indirectly, is they've been going after the gun industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So they're using the 1968 Gun Control Act, which regulates gun sales and they're focusing on clerical errors that are made when you're buying a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing is, if you get a certain amount of errors, they pull the firearm license from the gun dealership, and it's clerical errors. Like if you put the wrong county on somebody's paperwork when they're picking up their gun, or the zip code's wrong, those kind of things. Like, it's not criminal activity.
right.
There's no issues where you're selling a gun to somebody who shouldn't have one, who legally can't have one. It's just these clerical things. So the agency in 2022, we're almost at the end, they've revoked 92 licenses from gun stores, which is 1.3% of all dealers. So that doesn't seem like a big number, but it's triple from the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
So these gun dealerships know they have to be very careful,
Yeah.
and they follow the law.
Right.
And when they're pulling their licenses because of clerical errors like this, it's just another way that they're kind of going behind the scenes to affect the Second Amendment in a negative way without violating Constitution, so to speak.
Right.
The Second Amendment.
Well, I was in Alabama this week for Thanksgiving, and I've noticed this a few different places now. Is on the door, it'll be a little sign, and it says, we don't allow the open carry of firearms because Alabama's constitutional carry state
Right.
now. In respect for law enforcement and blah, 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 and it's signed by the local sheriff. I'm like,
I would think that would be the opposite. If you were a law enforcement person, you'd want to know if that person had a gun.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
dumb.
well, but it's probably some stock thing that they came up with.
It is, but why is it's got the sheriff's name on it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you as the sheriff out there pushing that on businesses? And I saw that last time I went to a sales meeting up in Prattville, and it was at quite literally this bar pub
Yeah.
has a Trump 2024 flag hanging in the window, a Back the Blue flag, and then a Don't Tread on Me flag, and then that sticker that says, that we don't allow open carry of firearms in here, blah, 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 to support law enforcement. Like, how does that support law enforcement?
Yeah. That doesn't really support law enforcement. Now, I know if you've got your concealed carry here in Florida, there are certain areas you're not allowed to carry.
Right.
Like schools, government buildings, bars, and there's a fine line even on the bars. If it's a restaurant, you can carry it in there, but you can't be in the bar area, like
Right.
Applebee's. Like with us sitting at the bar last night at Applebee's, you're not supposed to have a firearm on us sitting at that bar.
Oops.
But the table across from the bar, you can carry.
Yeah.
So maybe is it something along those lines in Alabama? Or?
No, I mean I mean one of them was a gas station.
Well, if there's constitutional carry, other than someone being restricted from having a gun, legally felon or whatever the case may be, there should be no restrictions anywhere. Period.
Well, it sounds like this is imposed by the business itself.
Yeah.
So, look, you know, I'm not going to shop at that business, but it's damn well their right to say whatever they want to. I mean, I think they should be able to allow what they want to on their premises. Now, there again, if I see that sign, I'm either not adhering to it, or I'm not going to open carry up in there. But
see, I would go in with a gun in my hip and just pretend like I didn't see the sign. If somebody says something to me, I would say, well, here we have a Trump 2020 flag. We got a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, and you're treading on me right now.
Yeah.
So if something pops off in here, I've got to wait on the local sheriff. God knows where they're at.
Or you with
To
your
get here to
shotgun behind the
protect me.
bar.
Yeah.
To get here to protect me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's protecting law enforcement? Yeah, that's not our job as citizens. Our job as citizens is not to protect law enforcement. It's actually quite the opposite. And we, as people on the right, need to really think about that.
Sure.
Yeah. And, you know, we talked about this ATF situation. The good news is there's a gun store, Texas gun store owner, who's taking them to court. So this is something we might we're going to keep an eye on it, and we may eventually see a Supreme Court case.
Right.
If they push it to where they may be able to overturn this current administrative state that the ATF is under.
Well, the next Republican president needs to, you know, there's lots of things going swinging, but like you should start issuing FFLs like freaking candy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you can fog a mirror up. Oh, congrats! And give us $500 and you get your FFL.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
You know, like it just, and I disagree with your statement that they can't come directly and take the guns, but the three of us couldn't go tomorrow and buy an automatic weapon.
No.
I mean, there's certain things we just can't go and buy. So it's like this slow erosion.
Yeah.
You know, it's the frog in a pot. Boiling.
You can, but you got to pay several $1,000s for that.
It's like
sticker,
$32,000 to get that stamp, and
Yeah.
they're going to do it. They're going to check out the inside of your asshole before they allow you to have it.
which is crazy.
And they'll probably be sitting out in front of your house watching you and following you everywhere you go.
Maybe one of the three of us. Well, I don't have the extra money, but if
Right.
we ever get enough, Patreon support as a sponsor.
Help us get a stamp. We'll
Right.
have an automatic weapon. We'll just
Yeah.
we'll have it sitting here on a tripod
Right.
on camera. Everyone. Why do you have that? Because I want it.
There's a place in Orlando where you can go and shoot.
Yeah.
All fully
You can
automatic.
rent the fully automatics, yep.
I mean, I've never been there, but I see it and I'm like, man, I think I'd rather go there than Disney. I definitely would rather go there now than Disney,
Yeah.
but at the time when I saw the billboards, it's kind of funny. You're riding down the toll road between Ocala and Orlando, and you see an anti-abortion sign, a ambulance chaser attorney, Disney. Then you see this fully automatic weapons billboard. It cracks me up.
And then the 24-hour strip club truck stop
Yeah.
combo.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to stop there.
Come have lunch.
Right. I really want to stop there. Not because I care to see. I can't imagine that that's high quality entertainment. But
Cafe Risque or
Yeah,
Erotica or whatever.
Yeah.
We the guy that originally opened that one and all of the other ones that are up 75 opened one, and it was a big deal when I was living in Albany, Georgia. He opened one in there, and they tried so hard to shut him down, but he wasn't breaking any laws because he wasn't selling alcohol. And the state and the city ordinance was you cannot have nakedness and alcohol served in the same establishment.
Like,
Dude,
why would
just
you ever
serve food.
separate those
Yeah.
two?
Do what?
Why would you ever separate those two? Alcohol and nakedness.
It's the South.
It's
Don't-
too much.
Yeah, I mean, it was their way of sending debauchery out,
Yeah.
because most strip club owners want to sell alcohol.
Mhm.
That's where they make their
in
money.
Dallas, there was I don't know who owns it now, but Dimebag Darrell owned it, and it was BYOB. And you couldn't bring in ice, you couldn't bring in mixers, and it was $20 to get in. But those girls got completely naked because it was BYOB. They weren't selling anything.
That's Atlanta.
Now, if you needed to buy ice and mixers, the ice was like $20 for like a little bit.
Right.
Like it was. Oh yeah.
He was killing it on that thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's, a lot of the bottle clubs in rural Georgia, they'd have bands and they'd charge you a $5 cover, and they'd sell mixers.
Mm-hmm.
You can get Coke and Diet Coke and whatever mixers, gin and tonic, tonic water, and you're gonna pay like $5 for a 12-ounce can of Coke.
Yeah.
But they didn't sell alcohol
Right.
at all, and they skated the alcohol laws. They say, bring your own bottle, bring your own beer.
Yeah.
The city of Tuscaloosa had an ordinance from on Saturday at midnight, so 12:01 a.m. on Sunday, to midnight, or I guess 12:01 on Monday. Like no alcohol could be sold in the city, period whatsoever.
Right.
Like not at gas stations, not at Publix.
The whole state of Georgia was like that when I was growing up.
Man, we'd be sitting around drinking, and somebody looked down. I was like, "Shit, it's 11:45.
We gotta get our Sunday beer.
Oh man, we were running like
Yeah, it was
4
like that in
cases.
Pennsylvania too. I remember in college us going on a freaking road trip to another
Yeah,
state.
Yeah.
me and a couple of buddies, my stepdad would text me and say, "Hey, you got your Sunday beer?"
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No, he said, "You ain't drinking mine. You better go get some."
Well, in the Tampa Bay area, they had, talking about the bottle clubs,
Right.
they used that to get past the 2 a.m.
Right.
bars being closed at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
so that you would bring your own bottle and you would buy chips and you'd use a chip to get a drink from your own bottle.
Yeah.
So you'd have to bring your own, and then you're paying, I don't know, back then it was
Capitalist
a lot cheaper,
ingenuity
like
is a
$5
beautiful thing,
Yeah.
to
man.
get around
It
the laws.
absolutely
It's like,
is.
Yep, they're not selling alcohol, they're selling chips.
It's absolutely a beautiful thing. So, all right, man, we're diligently watching the news this week, and
Yeah, we're back at it. We'll be
Yeah.
back at it. There'll be some excitement. this
we'll
week.
have our normal,
yeah, I'm sure it'll
our
pop
regular live stream at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. We've got a cast coming out tomorrow that we recorded last week. And somebody's walking down the road listening to their phone really loud or talking. But man, we've got hopefully we'll have some really good stuff to talk about this week. We hope you guys did not eat too much turkey. I'm already about 4 turkey sandwiches in, man.
I
I had 2 yesterday
we
and
made
2
turkey
today.
soup with the carcass from our turkey. It's
Did you?
on a-
We froze
rice.
the carcass for later use, whatever that may be. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna
April-
For you to throw away in
For
2
me,
years
yeah.
when you
I'm
get
gonna
tired
free-
of it,
I'm
moving it
gonna
around the
freeze
freezer.
the turkey soup. I'll have a bowl and then I'll freeze the
Yeah.
rest of it.
April likes to make broth with carcasses, chicken carcasses, and
Yeah, stock. Yeah, we just
stock.
that's what we did with this.
So-
Threw some vegetables in it, some rice in it.
there
Now
you
we
go.
got turkey and rice.
Cool. Well, hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in this first look. Tell your friends so they can get involved in this. And help us out. Share the broadcast with your friends and family, not this particular one, but the others. And let them know that we're moderately entertaining.
And thank you all Patreon supporters. This
Yeah.
one's for you, so we appreciate it.
Absolutely. So with that being said, this week we should be streaming on more than one platform at once.
Woohoo!
Wow. All right.
So we should be on, we'll be live on Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook, and maybe even TikTok.
I like it.
We'll see how that rolls. Maybe that's how we can
I think to
actually.
be live on TikTok, you have to have like a half-naked girl too.
Expanding our
Well,
reach.
I mean, maybe one of our Patreon supporters will pay a half-naked girl to come
Right.
hang out with us. So. Anyway, with that being said, for Travis and Dan, I am your Uncle Wes. We'll see you next time on the Driveway Liberty Podcast.
You are